Hi, it's Mairead Russell here. I'm a therapist and secondary school teacher based in Manchester. I'm currently working with children with SEN and behavioural problems. And as a result of working with kids that have SEN and or special educational needs and behavioural problems, is I become very aware that yes, there may be special educational needs that underpin behavioural problems, but there's also anxiety related disorders that become apparent when children go to school. And that's through bad behaviour, poor behaviour, and them not obtaining the results that they should obtain. And as a result of this, what I've gone on is to produce a program for children, stress management program specifically aimed at children. Now, the important thing when you're looking at stress management or anxiety related problems is to feel that you have a sense of control. Now, most children, unlike adults, don't have the capability to understand what's happening to them. They don't have the emotional maturity to deal with their anxiety in a proactive way. So, as a parent or a carer of children, you can help them to feel more in control and you can empower them to take control as well. Now, one of the tools that we use on the program is a simple breathing technique. Now, by teaching your child to use this breathing technique, you're doing two things. You're actually educating them about the right way to breathe, because most of us breathe incorrectly, believe it or not. We breathe very shallowly into our chest and not into our tummy, so we don't fill our lungs completely with air. When we don't breathe correctly, what we tend to find is that we do feel more anxious because we're not getting the oxygen that our body needs. So it goes into a state of panic. So by teaching your child to breathe correctly, we're already one step towards gaining more control over anxiety and the stress that they feel. So what I'm going to do first of all is just show you how to teach your child to breathe correctly, and indeed yourself if you need to know. So what I'm going to do is just tie it sideways so that you can see what I'm going to show you. Now, what I suggest you do is ask your child to, and perhaps you can do this as well, is to put a hand here on your chest and put a hand here on your rib cage, just underneath your rib cage. Now, when you breathe in deeply, what you should notice is that your hand on your tummy will rise, not necessarily a hand on your chest. But what we do find is that when we breathe in, is, I'll show you now, is the hand on our chest rises. Now, what that means is we're just filling the first part of our lungs and we're not filling our lungs completely. So when we breathe in deeply, when we breathe in correctly, what should happen is that the hand on our chest doesn't rise, but the hand on our tummy does. So what I'll do now is just show you how that's supposed to look. So breathing in deeply, breathing in correctly. You breathe in now and breathing out. So what you should have seen there is that the hand on my chest hardly moved, yet the hand on my stomach was obviously raised as I breathed in deeply, correctly into and filling my lungs. So first of all, if you can practice that with your child to ensure that they are breathing deeply into their bellies, so to speak. Now, a great way of getting to do this, perhaps if they're struggling, is ask them to imagine or visualize that they've got a balloon in their tummy, so they're filling that balloon with air. Now, I've tried this with my kids and I've tried it with kids on the program and it works brilliantly. So if you just get them to visualize that they've got a balloon in their tummy and then they're blowing up that balloon. So once you've got them to breathe correctly and breathe deeply and you're satisfied that they got that, then we can go on to the breathing technique. Now, the great thing about this breathing technique is it's accumulative, which means the more they practice on a day-to-day basis, the better the results are going to be. And also, it trains the mind to change the way they respond to stress and anxiety so that they respond in a more calmer, more positive and relaxed way, which is great, and that's what we want. So the breathing technique itself is based on diaphragmatic breathing, And diaphragmatic breathing just simply means by breathing in through your nose, and as we breathe out, slowly we breathe out through the mouth. Now, the technique itself is I ask the children just to practice this for 4 breaths. Now, 4 breaths is enough, and I wouldn't advise you to ask your child to do any more than that. When they're doing this is to practice it quite regularly over the following weeks, is perhaps first thing in the morning, in the evening, when they sit down to have some food, when they sit down to do homework, is just to practice this. Remember, the more they practice, the more their mind becomes habituated to responding to their stress and anxiety in a more proactive way, i.e. calmly. So the breathing technique just simply goes like this. You ask your child to breathe in slowly through the nose. When they have breathed in slowly through the nose, ask them just to hold the breath for the count of 2, 1, 2, and then to breathe out slowly through the mouth. And that's it. So you're asking them to breathe in slowly through the nose when their lungs are full of air, and remember to get them to visualize the balloon. When the lungs are full with air, ask them just to hold the breath for a short while for the count of 2, 1, 2, and then to slowly breathe out through the mouth. Now, all they need to do is repeat this 4 times, stop, and that's it. And that's the tool. Now, whilst it seems very, very simple, it's highly effective. And remember, the results are cumulative. So the more your child practices this, the more their mind becomes used to treating and responding to stress and anxiety in a calmer way. Okay, so we'll just go through this now. So just breathing in through your nose, holding the breath for the count of 2, 1, 2, before breathing out slowly through your mouth. And that's it. Again, breathing in through your nose slowly. 1, 2. Breathing out through the mouth. And that's it. Now, as I've said, for children, the main thing is to allow them to feel that they've got a sense of control. By knowing that they have a technique that they can use when they feel stressed, when they feel anxious, it makes them feel so much more positive about approaching stressful situations such as exams, meeting new friends, starting a new school. So not only can it help them immediately feel calmer, it also makes them feel more positive about approaching stressful situations too. Now, practice this with your child. Remember, it's accumulative to get them to practice regularly. And it's like riding a bike. The more they use it, the better they're going to feel. And also, they're not going to forget it. Okay, so good luck with that. And I hope you start to see some really amazing results. If you need any more information, then feel free to contact me and we can look at other ways and techniques to help your child. Okay, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.